Ready, go.
What is up, Watch fam? Happy Friday, and welcome to Liquor Run. I am Christian from Theo and Harris. This is my old man.
Rolly.
And Dad, what are we going to be drinking tonight?
Not Veuve Clicquot.
In fact, the antithesis of Veuve Clicquot.
We're drinking Carlo Rossi jug wine tonight.
That's great. And we're going to be talking about the Heuer Carrera and its new releases, so let's get into it. All right, before we jump into this Italian-American jug wine and Heuer, and particularly the Carrera, wristwatch check. What are you wearing, Dad?
My Panerai radio mirror.
Yes, you are. Beautiful watch. This looks great on the strap. We're going to be doing, I think, 2 separate incredible episodes to come on Liquor Run about straps on this watch. So we got a lot of really good tips coming for you guys.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, and we actually did an unboxing on this watch, right? We did the whole video. You know, what the watch meant to you and everything.
Very sentimental.
Yeah, the link's in the description. Really, watch it. It was an awesome video. And I'm wearing a yellow gold Date Just with a black gilt dial. A really just crazy watch.
Crazy.
On a presidential bracelet.
Reeks of 80s.
It reeks of the 80s. All right, sounds good. Let's crack open this jug wine and let's start talking.
Sure. Let's crack open. In fact, let me like a proper sommelier would go ahead and go like this. Mesdames, Messieurs.
Oh, the sweet sounds of garbage. I love it. By the way, this is... Wait, we can't... What are we, animals? We can't just pour out of this. We need to...
Oh, no, that would be... That would not be good.
This would not be class.
No, that's not classy.
So we're going to need to do what my grandfather does.
Absolutely.
And put... Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Can you see this, guys?
Hold it. There you go.
It's going to get
Okay.
There you go.
So let's do this.
Is this in an olive oil bottle?
Because, we're gentlemen.
No, it's balsamic vinegar.
It's balsamic vinegar. Wonderful.
Sure. This is how we roll.
This is, it sounds like we're being patronizing and mocking. I mean, we are making fun, but this is legitimately what I drink at my grandpa's house, and I have since I was like 9.
And let's talk a little bit about that nostalgia.
Totally.
And what this means. I mean, we're making a little bit of fun, but there's something cool to be said about this.
No, we'll definitely get into that in a bit. But first, let me pour your glass,
please,
out of this beautiful vinaigrette bottle, and let's talk about Heuer. How familiar are you with Heuer?
I am familiar with the Heuer brand. Salud. Back in the early 80s, that was a real hot brand.
Yeah. Yep. Jerry Maguire, I think, wore a Heuer. That was like a really big thing.
Heuer was a hot name. Like you wanted a tag Heuer.
Right.
You wanted a Heuer.
Yep. And I think it was a little bit more accessible than Rolex, but still had a lot of prestige.
Absolutely. Had nice bracelet.
But nice prestige.
Nice prestige.
Yep.
People like the brand.
Yep. So it's funny because Heuer, as many of you guys know, has had a long, very dynamic history. Mm-hmm. Heuer Company, before it was acquired by TAG, manufactured tons of watches under the Heuer name and under others with different, with the same cases and same movements. But still, they became classic, especially in retrospect. Their productions were classic for super well executed traditional chronographs. Usually powered by movements like Valjoux 72, and the Carrera model, which was probably one of the more simple kind of designs, as opposed to the Monaco or as opposed to the Autavia or the Camaro. The Carrera really embodied quite a bit of all those sport class.
Yeah.
The rest of these watches are awesome, but they're funky.
Yes.
They had more flair than the Carrera. So it's interesting to me to see the evolution of the Carrera into, like this, the Carrera O2.
The Carrera that I remember was not a funky watch.
Right.
And yet looking at the photos of this new iteration of Carrera, and I took a step back and I said, wow, this does not resemble the old Carrera in any way, shape, or form.
How do we end up here?
How do we get here?
Yeah.
And what was the impetus to come up with such an odd-looking watch?
Because I introduced you to the Carrera maybe 3 or 4 years ago, like the classic 60s Carrera.
Right.
It looks nothing like
this. And
this.
that was a surprise to me. Like,
oh, yeah.
Wow, how conservative.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful push pins. And, nowhere near
simple
this.
Dial layouts.
Yeah.
Really functional.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a kind of point here. Putting aside the lineage of this watch and how much it confuses me. The Carrera, just like the Camaro and the Autavia and all these watches, naturally, because it's a tool, because it was kind of no frills, high quality of construction. legibility in a chronograph was very important, and Heuer did not mistake that.
Right
here, this is not. I mean, it is a chronograph by definition, but this is not functional.
I smell Hublot in that.
Exactly. Yes, the style has brought Heuer to Hublot.
Yeah,
but how can you tell me? How can you look me in the face and tell me that this makes any fundamentally a chronograph you can't even read is a logical evolution of one of the most classic and functional chronographs of all time? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. So I guess it's a question of, are you chasing the market? Because exactly. And I think that's what it is.
And you're
rather than staying true and deciding, hey, we're going to be a more niche player, but we're going to stay true to our core or what we represent, our heritage.
But it's funny. I mean, you look at Tudor, and Tudor's a brand that I criticize, when I think there's criticism.
Yes.
But Tudor's not a niche brand. I mean, Tudor's becoming, at least to my understanding, or they're striving to become a very mainstream watch.
Right.
A watch that everyone knows and owns. And the way they're doing that is not by this stuff. I mean, they're not trying to do it by being, like Hublot-ish. They're not trying to do it by chasing trends. They're using Lady Gaga to market, and I understand that. But the products themselves, they're pretty true to Tudor. You can't look at me and tell me the Black Bay, what is it, a 42 millimeter steel, basically dive watch, does not make sense in Tudor history. They came from the Snowflake. They came from the Submariner.
Right.
If anything, modern Rolex Submariners are a little bit blingy, right?
Yes.
Whereas the vintage, or traditional Rolex Submariners were much more toolish, like the Black Bay.
Right.
So Tudor is not a brand that's trying to be niche. So you see my point? There's not necessarily a trade-off. You don't have to be niche to be true.
Right.
And that's kind of the point here.
Right.
So I don't get this at all.
No, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear this watch.
No.
It's not my cup of tea. Again, it's hard to read, and I don't even know how that even makes sense. A watch like that should be very legible.
Right. It's like, and then people want to criticize the Panerai we spoke about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, the smaller,
36 millimeter Panerai.
Yeah.
It was water resistant up to 98 feet.
Right. And
people were having a conniption.
Yeah.
At least you can actually go swimming with it. You can't race with this.
No.
You can't time races on the fly.
No.
So it's funny. Like I'm sure this has many critics as well, like us. But it's funny. I mean, how you can't possibly criticize the Panerai and not criticize this. This makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, this deserves a little bit of critique.
Right.
That's fine.
This is like a pimp without a strong hand. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like if you're going to be a chronograph, you got to be legible. If you're going to be a pimp, you got to collect.
Yeah, right.
That's a weird analogy, but it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carlo Rossi. Talk about it.
What do we say about Carlo Rossi? When I first started dating Mom, my father-in-law, your grandfather, I would hang out after dinner, and he was a New York City cab driver, and he'd get home late, but we'd always... Tough guy, worked in a lot of hours, and there was always the bottle, like this type of bottle, and dinner would be served, and we'd hang out, we'd talk, and like, what is this guy drinking, and... because ironically, your grandmother, my mother, she wasn't drinking it. No. So he was the only guy drinking it. But as it turns out, we ended up messing around with it and having it. Sometimes we'd run out of wine, and we just started drinking some Carlo Rossi.
Right, because you're a real wine guy, right?
Yeah.
So this is not like the joke is. Yeah. You'll bring, like, my dad will crack open a beautiful bottle of wine on a holiday or a birthday or something. Something like really just tremendous, and then it's almost like you don't even want to give it to Poppy, because he puts ice in it, or he goes, it tastes like wine,
right?
Which is fine. I mean, but that's why he drinks Carlo Rossi,
right? So not pretentious. I mean, it gives him the
it's wine.
It gives him the benefit of red wine, and that's it. And it does all of that.
Yeah,
it gets you a little tooted.
At least for me.
When you put ice on it, it's even better. In it, it's tasty. A little Sprite. In fact, that's a nice tip. Yeah. The Spaniards will use a wine similar to this and put Sprite. Vino de verano. This is the summer wine, they call it. That's a really cool idea for this wine.
Well, yeah, we should do it in another episode.
We'll do it in the spring. We'll definitely do Tinto de Verano.
What I think is so cool about Carlo Rossi, Italian American, working class neighborhoods, like where my whole family's from. No one had the money to go out and buy a crazy bottle of wine, especially at scale. Like they drank wine every day.
Every day.
Like you didn't miss a day. It wasn't a day you didn't have wine.
No.
And when you were making the equivalent, of it doesn't matter, but when you're working on a middle, real lower middle class or middle class wage, you're gonna drink every day. You can't afford to have serious stuff.
Right.
Not if you want to be responsible.
Not as a working man.
Not as a working man. So that's why, to me, although I talk about expensive watches and and do a lot of luxurious things and talk about all luxurious things, it's very cool. It reminds me of
it's where we came from. Yeah. It's grounding.
I love this stuff.
Yeah,
if I go to the liquor store sometimes, I just buy this because I don't know. It just brings me back. I like it.
Yeah, and we'll have it. We have it at home.
Oh yeah, we always have it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're not always drinking it, but it's always there.
Yeah. But give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Carlo Rossi. We drink the Burgundy.
Yeah, the Burgundy, not the Chianti. We actually drink the Burgundy. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Liquor On. If you also have some sort of an emotional connection to Carlo Rossi wine, comment below. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. A lot of Italian people, especially. I'm sure there's some connection there. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will talk to you all Monday.
Ciao.